Hello, my beautiful friend. And in this time together, I am really excited to share with you about the birthing kit, the birthing essential oil kit that I have formulated for Monara essential oils. And gosh, there's so much to say about it. And what I want to offer up right here in the beginning is a few words that will help you to understand if you should stay and listen to me or go spend your time doing something else. If you are, because by the way, this isn't just about birthing a baby. This is about birthing projects. This is about birthing products. This is about birthing a new website. This is about birthing a new version of you. It's about birthing a new relationship. It's about birthing a new house. Whatever it is that you may be in the process of gestating leading up to the birth, this kit is brilliant. So let's see where to begin. What I want to do is share with you about the blends, the oils that are in the blends, and how each blend can work in supporting you having the most easeful, the most treasured, actually another way to say it, it's all of that, and it's having the birth experience that your soul wants to have. Having the birth experience that your soul wants to have. And I find the process of birthing extraordinary because it's where known or conscious desires meet soul level desires that we may not be entirely connected to. I'm going to explain more about that as we go. Meet the unknown, the variables that we don't have direct control over, which can bring up very particular things. And that's what this kit is for, what this set of oils, this set of blends is for. So grab a cup of tea, grab a snack, join me for a little bit as we go through this process. And another thing that I'm going to be offering up to you over this video is how to use these oils specifically, these blends. Okay, so the kit itself, I really love the way we've packaged it. This Monara Essential Oils is the business that's owned by my husband and I. We have founded it, and I create the formulations for it and also provide some education for Monara. One of the things that I love about our company so much is that, one, we have education. And I love our education because I love how I work with the oils. I had a clinical practice for over 20 years in which I used the oils consistently every day, trained associates to use them. They used them every day. And I got so much valuable feedback about what works and doesn't work over time and with thousands of people. And so what I share with you is rooted in clinical expertise. It's rooted in my own wisdom that comes with time. And it's also rooted in my substantial intuitive abilities that are related to connecting with the plant essences or the plant spirits, the soul of the plant, and understanding how it is that they support us in particular at this time. And I say in particular at this time because these times that we are in are unique. And, there is so much change. And there is so much fear and so much opportunity for fear in the face of the change. We are in the midst of a mass metamorphosis on a collective level, and we're also experiencing that individually. You might be experiencing it as transition, a tremendous amount of transition, a lot of questioning about who you are and what you're doing and why you're here and how to do and be and create in the ways that you genuinely want to. So I love our education. I love that our essential oils, we select them, and we have high grade unadulterated essential oils that are primarily from small to moderate sized distilleries or providers, individuals and farms who are providing the essential oils. And we properly dilute the essential oils for use directly on acupuncture points. I really love that we do that, because you can get most any of your favorite oils that you might like to work with and have them come in pure, clear, deodorized organic jojoba mixed at a ratio that is safe to put directly on acupoints. This is a technique that I'll be sharing with you over this time together. Okay, so I don't forget later, if you are interested in studying further with me, taking any of the offerings that I have, there's links in the show notes there below. Be sure to check that out. And if you're a creator and you're interested in working together with me, my role is very much like a midwife. I act as a midwife, supporting you in your creative births. So the creation of digital products, any kind of product really, whatever it is that you're bringing in your entrepreneurial world. And at the same time, I'm supporting your next level birth of self, because what I see over and over again is that heart-based soulful entrepreneurs, in order for them to bring forth their creation, their entrepreneurial creation, they actually have to bring forth the next version of themselves. Another way of saying that is, and perhaps this is speaking to you, I'm going to act as if, as you are bringing forth what you're feeling called to bring forth, a digital product, a course, a retreat, etc., a coaching offering, you are going to have to become the next version of you in order to match the energy of that creation that the universe has called you to bring forth. And if you don't, if there's a mismatch in energy between you and the creation, what the creation is asking, I like to think of it this way, what the creation is asking to be, then there will be discord. You won't receive in the way that you want to receive from it. You won't share in a way that feels really deeply satisfying for you. Oftentimes what I hear, and I've experienced this myself, is it just feels a bit off, or you feel anxious. You don't feel satisfied. You don't feel in the flow. It's hard to let go, etc. Now, the birthing process and the creation process is, it's no joke. It's not for the faint of heart. Being an entrepreneur is not for the faint of heart. So I just want to acknowledge you and congratulate you for your courage, for your willingness to show up over and over again, and for your willingness to do the work on yourself, because entrepreneurs that don't do the work on themselves, they don't actually stick around for long. Not ones that are bringing forth really soulful creations meant to be of deep service to community and to others around them. They don't stick around if they're not doing the work. It just doesn't work that way. We are entering into a time with the sort of flourishing or expansion onto the scene of AI. It is going to become increasingly important that you are authentic. And most creators that I work with, they want to be authentic, but it's actually a process to learn and remember and practice how to be genuinely authentic. And that's because we all have egos and we have personas and we have fears and we want people to like us and all the things. Being authentic means that we are being unapologetically ourselves, and that we're not perfect, and that we're giving ourselves permission to be messy. That's actually what's going to be distinguishable from a lot of the material, whether it's visual material, written material of AI. And by the way, I'm not anti-AI. I think it could be of great benefit and aid also to entrepreneurs. But I am a big advocate of the analog, of the sort of real deal, if you will, in the sense that our hearts and our humanness needs other humanness. There's a quality to it that's unmistakable, and it's nourishing to the being. So if you have any desire to be supported by a midwife in this way, as you birth your projects, as you birth your next level of genius, think about working together with me. And there's also some links down there below that you can check out. So I love our essential oils. I love that we properly dilute them with organic jojoba and they're safe to use on the skin. And I also love that, did I say, what's the third one? I forgot it already. Our education. Our education. That's what this is right here. Did I bring the kit in with me? I didn't bring it into the room. Let me just pause this and I'll go grab it. Okay, so this is the box that the kit comes in, and it's 3 different blends plus a bergamot FCF. I'll be describing what each of these are and how to use them. And I have emptied out my little box, but they come inside of there nicely placed. And we're going to go through right now each one of the blends, and I'm going to screen share with you. I actually have this information. We have this information on our website, and you can check it out, reference it if you want it. I'll pop it in the show notes as well. Okay, so this is birthing note. This is actually me when I was pregnant with our little daughter Kiara just last year in 2023. And as I mentioned, it's not just about baby birthing, it's about birthing of anything that you're birthing. And it's not just the birth, it's also the gestation period. The gestation period and the birth bring up, whether it's a child or a project, bring up really similar things actually. And it was interesting for me to experience that. Now, I had a baby, my first, very late in life in comparison to most people. And I had already been an entrepreneur and a creator. I've been an entrepreneur since I was a young girl, since I was probably 11, selling peaches off our peach tree. I had my first business at age 16, and I was a digital creator before most people were digital creators. I had started a membership platform before membership platforms were a thing. So I've been in this world for quite a long time. I have faced over and over again the challenges that arise when you create and put your heart and soul into it. So I'm coming from a tremendous amount of experience. And when I speak about these things, I'm speaking about them knowing not only that they worked for me personally in my long career as an entrepreneur, but also how they work with my clients and how I witness that they work with my patients for over 20 years. So first of all, let's just go through the names of each blend, and then I'll go through in detail. So the blend Uplift, and the affirmation with it is, I can do this. I can do this. The blend Flow, which is, I can allow. And the blend Restore, I can receive. So I might have said before that there were 3 blends. There's actually 4, because the 4th blend is Jasmine Cradle, I can trust. So just take those in. Here we go. Feel this. I can do this. And I want you to think right now, is that your strong suit or your weak area? So for everybody, we're going to have places where we really excel and then places where it's harder. And that's going to help you cue in right away to what you're going to want to start with. So for me, for example, that I can do this, like I'm good. If you follow astrology, I have an Aries moon. Aries moon is good at like just being fiery and going after it. I struggle more with completion, and I struggle with getting overwhelmed or burned out is ultimately what I've experienced several times over my career. So that I can do this, I can, but it needs to be balanced with other things. That is, I can allow. I can allow. I can allow the space. I can allow for support. I can allow for not having to control every single aspect of it. I can allow myself to feel. That was a big one for me, just to feel the grief of things, the fear of things, etc. And then now feel this, I can receive. What's the other one? I can flow, right? I can allow, flow, blend. Yeah. I can receive. I can receive. I can receive. I have to say that's been one of the biggest learning curves for me in this life, is being able to truly relax and receive and to trust the receiving of it. So I can receive, and that flows right into I can trust. So again, noticing where are your strong suits, where are you more challenged, and know that wherever you are challenged, you can learn and you can shift, and it's not going to come from your mind. That learning and the shifting in this realm of birth, it has to come from something beyond the mind. It's transrational. And that's because the birth process itself is a process of surrender. To give oneself over to birthing, again, whether it's a baby or a project, surrender is required, or else there is great suffering and great struggle. And it doesn't have to be that way. And look, I'm not saying that if you buy this kit and use these blends that everything's going to be easy. The birthing process has challenges. But when you know how to work with the challenges and work with yourself with these tools and with these allies, then what happens is the challenges become something actually that you become curious about and that you're nourished by in real time, versus that you get beat down by and that you ultimately feel disheartened and disempowered by. So the Uplift blend, it has Laurel, Mandarin, Cedarwood, and Chang, or Litzia, as some people know it. That's the Latin name. And the fragrance itself has an uplifting smell. There's a pungent lift that comes primarily from the bay laurel. So you'll smell that top note or that lift, and then there's this sort of energy like this. You can see my hands that moves stasis out from the body. It clears the mind and it clears around the heart, and it does that with the help of Mandarin and Mei Chong. Then cedarwood, as a sweet woody oil, a very deeply strengthening oil, brings the energy down and into the core of the body, down and into the center of the body, around the navel and below the navel. And that gives you the strength and the fortitude to continue and to do what you're doing. So let's look at Uplift. Uplift can be helpful to shift negative and downward draining thoughts, emotions, and even physical energy. This may be supportive in the resolution of the following situations: fatigue, a feeling of sinking energy, heaviness in the legs and limbs, discouragement, depression, and indecisiveness. So the heaviness in the legs and limbs is really appropriate for physical pregnancy. And the other things can come with any kind of birth. Uh, Discouragement, a feeling of heaviness, or a sinking feeling. So think in your own experience right now when some of those might come into being. I know for me, when I would have, so I'll just give you a prime example. I had a brilliant business idea and download from the universe about a particular virtual community that I wanted to start. And this was years ago, almost 20 years ago. So it was before it was really a thing. And I invested a tremendous amount of money. I hired developers to build out the platform because it was before the kind of plug and play platforms existed. I was working full time in my practice and then working, basically full time at the other job as well. I was doing a lot of work, and it was not succeeding financially. And then I was having struggles with the one woman who worked for me, and I couldn't quite understand what was going on with it all. And it really got me in the heart. And I'd say I didn't even quite register that I felt depressed about it. I would say I just went right into helplessness. And I never would have said those words because I don't think of myself in that way because I'm a doer, but I was doing all of these things without actually slowing down and listening and receiving help and going strategically slow. I would speed up in the face of it because underneath it was fear. I didn't know how to change the circumstance. And then I was using my energy to plow through it. So that what I just described would be a great example for both the uplift and, well, actually all three of them, but uplift, flow. And then what happened was I burned myself out at the end of that cycle. So then restore would come in strong. But I want you to think about yourself here, like where you might be filling in the current uncertainty or unknown, say of a launch, say you're going to do a product launch, and you don't know how it's going to go, and to compound that, you really need and want the money to come in. This is actually one of the most challenging scenarios for birth of a product, is when it's high stakes, in the sense that you're counting on the money coming in. You've put a lot of energy and time and heart into it. So there's pressure. And then if you've had launches that you've done before that didn't have the turnout that you wanted, uh, that that's a challenging scenario to be in. And it's only challenging because the financial fear is there, which grips the nervous system, because the past experience of it, the mind is going to want to just project that into the present. Oh, see, what if it's going to be like this? See, it's going to be like this again. See, you're going to do all this and nobody's going to buy it. See, whatever it is that your mind likes to put in there. So one of the things that has to be done really is that you have to clear your mind of the past. And because we can't really clear the mind, I mean, I meditate, and meditation does let me drop out of it so that I can come with fresh eyes. But the past is still there. In any given moment, I can tune into it. So there has to be a process that allows you to unhook from it, and then use your power of choice and free will to focus on a different narrative. And the uplift will clear your mind and your mental body, open up and clear around the heart, and lift your energy so that you can do that. So if you have a story about how it's not going to work and it's this and that, and you're also gripped by fear, I want you to take uplift and put it right on the crown of the head. Now I've got an image here to show you. Let me see. I think I'm going to have to stop the share and then start it again, I do believe. Yeah, here we go. Oh, not that one. Excuse me. Let's see. One moment. Okay, here we go. This is GV, Governing Vessel 20, 100 meetings. It's right on the top of the head. So if you find the high point of the ear and come right to the top, you put 1 drop of the Uplift blend, which is properly diluted for use on the skin, and you put it with light touch. It's always going to be light touch. I'm going to repeat it a few times, but then I'm going to stop saying it. And I just want you to know that it's always light touch with aroma point therapy. Light touch there. And you hold it with light touch for 1 to 3 minutes, or until you feel a shift. Bring your hand down, rub that oil into your hands, and then cup your hands over your nose and mouth and breathe. 3 to 5 breaths. Now, some people like to do the breathing of the oil first. You could put a couple of drops in your hands, rub them together, breathe, and then take a drop on your finger and place it here. My personal preference is to do the point first and then breathe. Experiment and see what you like. You can't really go wrong either way. The other place that you can place the Uplift blend is right on the chest. And if you just go to the end of your clavicle, I have a little bump there. Go to the end of your clavicle, and then right in front of your deltoid muscle, you're on the lung channel there. You can place it on either side right there. And one of the nice benefits about this point is it also helps to release grief or regret from the past in relationship to something going the way that you didn't want it to go, or you were hoping for something different. Okay. So this is going to lift the energy, clear the energy. And with this lifted, cleared slate, if you will, and mental body and emotional body, you can then choose a different narrative. You can choose to put your attention on different emotions and different thoughts. And the reason why choosing to put your attention on different emotions and different thoughts is so important is because ultimately, on a metaphysical level, what draws people into your products or your services is your magnetism and the magnetism of the product itself. And the magnetism is an energetic thing. The magnetism is influenced by your integrity, And the magnetism is influenced by your energy and the energy of the product. And this is whether it's a physical product or a digital product. There is an energetic signature of it. And we can actually charge our products, including our digital products, with energy. And we do that, and that's a bigger topic, but just for placing this here, when you choose to tell a more true story about who you are and what you're creating. So instead of it being, oh, I've done this before and nobody liked it or wanted it, and I don't do as good a job as so and so, and why would anybody want this, or whatever your doubting thoughts are, when you have those thoughts going on, you're infusing yourself with that, your cellular structure, but you're also infusing your product with that. By the way, this doesn't make your product bad or not worth it. I'm sure you make amazing products, but what you want to do is you want your product to be infused with the bold certainty that you have about the goodness of what you created. Let go of perfection. We don't really ever get it perfect. One of my favorite quotes is the greatest perfection in this life is the radical acceptance of imperfection. That's by me. It was something that came through me when I was teaching in the 5 element realm before. But the only perfection in this life is the radical acceptance of imperfection. Just keep creating. Your product is going to be good. If it's coming from your heart and soul, it is going to be good. It's going to be freaking epic, and it's going to change lives. And will you create better things in the future? Heck yeah, if you keep creating, because you'll only get better and better. So you having negative energy or thoughts doesn't make your product bad. You have to remember that. You can have a bad day, you can have a bad hour, you can have a bad week. Your product is still golden and beautiful. It came from your heart and soul, and it's here to change the lives of people that you care about. It's here to change the way we do things on planet Earth. Trust that. When you shift your narrative to that more true truth, and then your energy syncs up with the energy of your product, that creates a kind of integrity and a kind of magnetism that's unmistakable. It draws people into it. When you write your copy, it's felt in your copy. How it sits on your landing page, it's felt there. So relax. Clear yourself with the uplift and tell a new narrative, the more true story about who you are, how freaking awesome you are, how incredible this product is. Let go of the imperfection piece. Your product is incredible. I know it. I know this to be true. If you created it from your heart and soul, birthed from the totality of your human experience, it is epically beautiful. And it's here in deep service. Anytime you feel down or discouraged, drop in the hands, breathe, clear your head, your mental and emotional body. I always think if you want to use oils to clear your mental body, right on the top of your head, on the emotional body, over the heart. That's just a quick, easy thing to think about. Okay, here I go back into the screen share. We're going into blend number 2. By the way, I would love, well, shall I read through it? This is going to be, yeah, well, let's do it. You'll have this here for a reference as well. So in the Uplift blend, you have Laurel, Mandarin, Cedarwood, and Chang. So Laurel, the victorious one, can reorient the psyche around the truth of your victorious nature. No matter how discouraged or down you might feel in the moment, it swoops in, gently lifting and encouraging the mental and emotional body into resonance with victory, courage, and confidence. By the way, you are victorious just for having gone through your entire creation. And then your entire launch on top of it. Heck yeah. I mean, you're in the rare group of human beings who has the courage to do that. So celebrate yourself all of the way. I see a lot of creators, they don't really celebrate until they have people registering for it or get the numbers that they want. And I think that's being stingy with yourself. Celebrate all the way through, and Laurel will help you. Mandarin, the effervescence of fortune. It's truly a sparkly, fragrant friend. It can engender feelings of celebration and lightness, reminding us that we are indeed fortunate. Even in the moments when we have trouble accessing this truth, its playfully lifting and expanding energetic can bring much needed ease in times of overwhelm, discouragement, depression, and fatigue. Cedarwood, the steady scaffolding of the internal city. Its unique sweet and woody fragrance has the ability to both stabilize and harmonize energy. It can act as a reminder to our psyche that we too can be strong like a great cedar tree, that we can stand tall and we can have the resilience and inherent protection. This addition to the blend makes it effective at consistently uplifting the energy in a way that creates more and more strength and steadiness over time. Chang, the exuberant clarifier, it has the very special ability to lift and clarify energy. It does it like this. Its lemony fragrance that smells like a lemon drop candy can bring the smile to the face, and with great efficiency, it clears the foggy bogginess of our perceptual filters, opening us up to see the sunshine and possibility. Chang is a key essential oil that myself uses for transforming the density of body and mind that stems from betrayals of intimacy and self-abandonment. By the way, one of the things that happens or can happen in the birthing process and the launching process as entrepreneurs is that we unintentionally self-abandon. And we do that by listening to old bullshit stories about what can happen or not happen or what will happen or who we are not or what's possible. We abandon the truth of our epic, infinite nature that's always here with us. Okay. So as you apply the oil, and either here on the crown or here over the heart, you can say, I can do this. I can do this. I can do this. Now moving on to flow. Flow, I can allow. The fragrance of flow has a little bit of a pungent, little bit of a top note thanks to the juniper berry and laurel, but it has its primary ingredient is blue tansy, which is a mid-tone oil or a middle note. It's herbaceous and a bit sweet, and then it has the bergamot, which is a sweet lemony, and the siamwood, which is a sweet woody. It's a beautifully balanced blend. All of the oils work synergistically to create flow. So wherever you feel stuck, wherever you feel stuck, wherever you feel stuck, whenever you feel stuck, work with flow. And I want to show you a place where I would like you to put flow. Let me just pull it up. Here we are. Okay, I think I'm going to have to start a new share. Yeah. And here it is, liver 3. So it's a little bit hard to tell with where that dot is, but if you go between your big toe and your second toe and you slide your finger up, there's actually a horizontal feeling on myself right now, so I can best describe it. I'm about an inch and a half up from this where the big toe and the second toe meet. So really, I would put the dot above where the dot is here. It's a little bit deceiving the way it looks, or an optical illusion. So if you slide your finger up, there's going to be something that moves or is try to say here. Put your finger right now, do this with me, where your second toe and your big toe come together, that little crease there. Start your finger there. Now slide it up, and you're going to get to a place where it feels like something's stopping your finger. And that's because you have an anatomical landmark that runs across the foot like this. So you're just in front of that. And when you push down into that point, it's probably going to be tender on you. This is the source point of the liver. The liver has to do with smooth flow and planning. In Chinese medicine, the liver is the general. It's all about strategy, planning, and moving forth into the world with the help of the gallbladder. So when we feel stuckness, it means that the liver is not able to do its job. And it's very common for us to have stuckness and also have frustration or even anger or even rage. Sometimes people, if they have a trouble experiencing anger, feeling anger, they'll just go from frustration into helplessness or frustration into hopelessness. That's not uncommon as well. So not only will this point help to move the anger or frustration energy, but it's also going to help to move the stasis so that you can get yourself out of stagnation. You can get yourself out of stuckness. So this could be stuckness in relationship to writing the email, stuckness in relationship to following your launch plan, stuckness in relationship to reaching out to such and such person, stuckness in relationship to doing your morning practices. By the way, if you are in a gestational and birth approaching process, do your morning practices every day like your life depends on it. It can be as simple as a short meditation, a prayer. What I recommend is doing a little oil anointing on yourself and then sitting in meditation, or doing meditation and then coming out and doing the oil anointing, and then do some journaling. This is, I think, when you're in the middle of a launch, for example, your morning practices are more important than the emails that you write. I know maybe everybody might not agree with me, but the thing is, if you push yourself forth writing all the emails and doing all the things and checking those off the list, but you're all whacked out, it's just not going to go well for you. And it's going to affect the magnetism and the energetics, as I spoke about before. So place flow there. This is going to be on both feet. You're going to hold with light touch for 1 to 3 minutes. You can do this every single day during a launch period or as you're approaching that birth, which I also consider a launch. Okay. You can also do, as always, with any of the blends, when all else fails, if you don't know where to put it, a couple drops in the hands, rub together and breathe. Whenever you're wanting flow, flow, baby, flow, baby, flow. If you're pushing yourself hard, if you're having negative self-talk. For some people, the flow needs to come in to help them flow and ease up in order to receive, which is where we're going next. And for some people, they just need to get their butt going. They've actually stopped in their tracks. So this leads us into the next blend, which is, oh, by the way, here's our oils: blue tansy, bergamot, juniper berry, and laurel. I'm going to I'm imagining hearing you in my head if I ask, do you want to hear about these individual oils, or do you just want to move forward? This copy is there for you in the show notes. I'm actually hoping at the time of this filming that it allows me to put it all in show notes. It should. And if not, you can always go to the website for more. But I'll say a few things. Blue tansy is the essence of flow and bringer of play. It says it all. It's the star oil for helping to move stagnation playfully. Bergamot is the bringer of balance, and it resets the central nervous system like no other oil I know of. You're going to actually get one more practice that you can do with the bergamot. That's the bonus oil in your kit at the end. I'm going to talk about that last. Juniper berry is the detoxifier. On a physical level, it can move fluids, but on an emotional level, it's going to move those old toxic emotions that are associated with stuff you did in the past that your mind wants to project into the future because it's afraid it's going to happen again. Clear that caca out of there, because here you are fresh. You've never been the person that you are right now. Did you know that? You've never been the person that you are right now, because you are right now, and you are who you are right now, arising emergently as yourself, receiving yourself right now. You've had all of that experience before. Just because you've had that experience before doesn't mean that you're going to repeat the experience. Juniper berry will clear that out for a fresh field. And then we're back to laurel, which is the victorious one that was in the previous blend as well. Just reminding yourself that you are victorious. You are victorious. You are victorious. And Cedarwood, oh, this oil, the softening stabilizer. By the way, if you love hearing about these oils in these ways, you really might like to get my Oracle deck. All of these oils are in the Oracle deck. There's 36 of them. You can just pull a card when you're feeling stuck or you want some guidance, and it's going to give you the most amazing transmission and dose of good medicine to help you through what you're going through. And Cedarwood, I thought about it because the Cedarwood writing I love so much. The thing with Cedarwood that I find extraordinarily beneficial for creators is that it helps to soften them to the parts that they are afraid of and treading water over. So, for example, if you're afraid of failure, or you're afraid the money's not going to come in, or you're afraid that you're going to be seen as a fraud, or whatever these things are that are so common for us to feel, and you're like treading water over it. However you tread water is how you tread water. For me, it's that I keep myself really, really busy. For you, it might be that you want to sleep all the time, or that you're zoning out on shows, or overeating, or whatever. But however it is that you're avoiding feeling the thing that you're afraid of, it's a disservice to you, because you're exhausting your chi doing that. And Siam would, without having to psychologize yourself, it's just going to allow you to flow in and through all of yourself. Feel your feelings and arise again. Feel it, not be overwhelmed by them. Just feel your feelings and arise again, because Siam wood is also strengthening. It's centering and stabilizing, but it softens us to ourselves, to receive ourselves. And that opens up more space for our true power and our clarity. When you use this oil, which you're going to put on liver 3 or do a cupped hand inhalation, you can say, I can allow. You can also say, I can flow. I can flow. I can go with the flow, baby. I actually, just even talking about this blend, I feel the energy of the flow. It's extraordinary. All right, the next blend, I can receive. So I can receive or the blend is restore. The affirmation is I can receive. Restore is just as it sounds, it's restorative. And the oils are coriander seed, vetiver, geranium rose, mimosa absolute, which is extraordinary. And it's all properly diluted for use on the body. Now, restore can be helpful in gently opening up mama, your mama, because you're birthing what it is that you're birthing right now, mama or papa. It can be helpful in gently opening up mama to receive and also stabilize and strengthen her, him, it. Did I get the pronoun right? Yes. They, him, her, they. So she can further relax into the process as it progresses. This may be supportive in the resolution of the following situations: fatigue, overwhelm, blood sugar dysregulation, feelings or lack of insecurity, insomnia, overthinking, or worrying. So, some of you in the creative process are going to go more into the anxiety and the fear, and some are going to go into the overthinking and worrying. What I find with most people is that it's a big kind of messed up soup of it all. So maybe you're worrying more at night and you're feeling anxious during the day, or vice versa. Generally speaking, when you're ruminating on thoughts, so repeating them over and over again and worrying, there is some kind of restoration that needs to be had. You need to be built up. You need to be nourished. You need to be spoken sweetly to. You need to be able to receive kindness, receive love, receive money from what you put out into the world. You want to open up to receive. I can't tell you how many times I've worked with creators and witnessed that they genuinely have the desire to, say, have big impact with what they're creating and to receive at a big level monetarily and also in recognition, but they don't over and over again. And what they finally end up coming to is like, whoa, there was no space in me and no capacity in me to receive at the level that I was asking for yet. And in through that recognition and working with that in some of these beautiful ways, they can expand their capacity to actually receive that which they've been asking for. If your mind is running over and over the fearful thoughts from the past, or things that got stuck in your mind from somebody in the past or others around you because they're attaching to your fearful thoughts, you are not available to receive. Clear that shit out of there with the uplift. Clear the mind. Get in the flow, and then open yourself up to receive. Now, for restore, there's a couple of different places where you can put it, and I'm going to show you that next. Pull that up. But the main one that I'm recommending for you is CV8. Oh, okay. well, this picture, there we go. I don't think that you could see it there, so I'm going to pull it up here. The point that I actually want you to put restore in is in the belly button. This is another fabulous point, by the way, stomach 25, called Heavenly Pivot. And it is helpful for helping you to digest experiences that might have been challenging or are challenging. But right now we're talking about receiving and restoring. And there's 2 points that you can do for the receiving and the restoring. The belly button point, which is called CV8, you're just going to put a drop of the oil on your finger and then hold it lightly over your belly button. Don't drip the oil directly into your belly button. It's better to put it on your finger and then just hold it lightly over the top. And then usually I put my finger there and then I hold my other hand just like this. Now, if you want to hold 2 points simultaneously that are close together, this other one is really good for restoring your chi and your energy. It's just 1.5 inches below the belly button. 1.5 inches below the belly button is point CV6. So CV8, CV6. And you can hold those both at the same time like this. Put the oil on 2 fingers and hold it there. CV8, CV6. Light touch 1 to 3 minutes or until you feel a shift. I feel a little bit embarrassed that I don't know for sure each time what you can see when I'm doing the screen share, but this is a good workaround. Okay, so coriander seed is the ruler of reciprocity. It's a beautiful essential oil that it's the most powerful essential oil that I work with that shifts feelings around lack so that you're not going to bring in the money you need. It's not going to be enough. You're not going to be enough. The landing page isn't going to be enough. Your web page, your credentials aren't enough. Whatever it is, whatever the lack thought is, coriander seed kicks its arse. It's amazing for that, but very gently. Vetiver, the restorative stabilizer. Vetiver is distilled from the roots of the vetiver grass, which grows straight down into the earth, down 13, 14 feet. And vetiver, so vetiver actually grows all over Southeast Asia, where we live part of the year, and it prevents soil erosion during monsoon seasons. And I say that vetiver prevents soul erosion in us. It really takes us into our depths of being. It helps us speak from our depths of being. It helps us to stay buoyed to the depths of our being, particularly in times where there is unknown, where there's pressure, where there's intensity, where we might feel more wobbly because of thoughts of how we're being received or perceived, etc. Also, vetiver tonifies the kidney yin in Chinese medicine, and we tend to more quickly burn out the kidney yin when actually the birth process itself uses up a tremendous amount of kidney yin. And that's, again, whether you're birthing a project or you're birthing a baby. Vetiver is amazing for boosting that yin back up. Geranium rose, the sweet mother, it recalibrates our relationship to mothering. So this, whether you're female or male, however it is that you orient and how you are sexually, we all have the capacity and are asked for in our life to to call on mothering energy, to call on that particular energetic. And geranium rose will really calibrate that so that it'll be done in a healthy way for you. It helps you relax into the receptive mode, calming worry and overthinking and control and hypervigilant behaviors. Mimosa, the palace of the heart. It is a very special essence. There's so much I could say about it, but what I want to say is that it really resonates with the heart center. For that reason, you could also place this blend, if you wanted, over the heart center, if this is speaking to you. And it softens your heart that has become overprotective or burdened with worry, brings fresh waves of gentle and uncomplicated joy. The affirmation is, I can receive. So as you place this over the belly button and then CV6, 1.5 inches below the belly button, you can just say, I can receive. I can receive. And now the final blend is Jasmine Cradle. Jasmine Cradle is extraordinary. Actually, I don't need to show you this on the slide because you can see my hand. Where you're going to place Jasmine Cradle is right on pericardium 7. And that is in the center of the wrist there. So you actually have two tendons. Not everybody can see their two tendons, but if you flex your hand, most people can see two tendons. You're going to be right in the middle of the tendons and on the wrist crease, the horizontal wrist crease. And that's on both sides. This point is a powerful point for trust and recalibrating trust. You're going to drip the jasmine cradle right on there, one drip there. Put your hands together and just sit. So instead of holding with a finger, you're just holding like this. And as you do that, you can say, I can trust. Close your eyes and be there for 1, 2, 3 minutes. Let yourself be recalibrated. Most of the time when we're plowing through in fear or collapsing from the fear or struggling under the pressure, it's if it's ultimately because we don't feel like we can trust that we'll be taken care of. Because if you think about it, if we couldn't have the thought that something could go wrong or not the way we wanted it to, then we would just be relaxed. We would just be creating and sharing and creating and sharing and receiving and creating and sharing and receiving. But, it's complicated. It comes from the heart. It brings up all our shit. We care about that. Then we're afraid and it's tied to our livelihood and there's pressure. So all that's going on. And we need the reminders that we can trust. We need the reminders that we're taken care of. We really are. Look, I've launched hundreds of, at this point, yeah, I can safely say hundreds of products and experiences over the time of, as an entrepreneur over my time. And I've had ones that have flopped. I've had ones that have been extraordinarily successful and everything in between. And I can say that one common thread that I would associate with the success is my relaxedness with it all. And part of that relaxedness comes from letting go of control. And the more fearful I am, the more I want to control. And I know that when I am controlling and I'm tense and I'm afraid, I need to remember how to trust. That's Jasmine Cradle. Now, I love this formula, and the fragrance of it is, oh, knock your socks off. It's a blend of night blooming and Jay blooming jasmine, jasmine grandiflorum, and jasmine sambac, which are precious oils, by the way. And we get excellent jasmine, unadulterated, imported from India. And then we mix it with a bit of Siam wood to tie the two jasmines together and to create that softening, stabilizing effect in your body. It's extraordinary. Okay, the last oil and point that I want to share with you is I have a whole YouTube video on this particular technique, by the way, which is called the Bergamot Reset. It has been tested in neurofeedback studies, and it is the fastest, most effective way that I personally know of to reset the sympathetic, parasympathetic, and get you out of whatever crap you're in. As you probably know, if you're in fear, you're in a cycle that doesn't feel good, you can't really talk yourself out of it. Like you can't say, it doesn't work. Like if I say, Tiffany, snap out of it. Don't be afraid. Don't do this. Don't do that. I just mounts it. It just makes it stronger. So you have to do something else. And one of those something else's that you can do can be this. You're going to take a drop of diluted bergamot essential oil, and that's the extra bonus oil in your kit. It is bergamot FCF. That means it has the part of the biochemical compound that creates photosensitization. So this would mean that normal bergamot has a photosensitizing effect. So if you put it in your ear and you go out in the sun and you get direct sunlight, you could experience a pretty bad burn on your skin. And so bergamot FCF actually makes it so that you won't burn. And then we properly dilute it on top of that. I tested it out for many years in my clinical practice to make sure that I was getting the same clinical results, and I was and do with the FCF as with the regular. So I recommend for safety using the bergamot FCF. You take a drop. I usually use it on my pinky finger, divide it between two fingers and place it right in that upper crevice of the ear. and hold with a light touch for 1 to 3 minutes. If it's the first time you've done this, you're probably going to need to hold it for a good 3 minutes. Just close your eyes and feel your body unwind. When you come out of this, you're going to have open perspective. The world is going to look different. It is extraordinary. Hands down, this is just, I mean, this is a standalone treatment reset unto itself. So now, how to use these? How to actually, like Tiff, do I do all of them? Do I do one of them? What do I do? Let's talk about that. So what for good measure, if you're in the middle of, if you've been in a gestation period and you're leading up to a launch, or you're in the launch for that matter, or maybe you're in the gestation, you're like in the act of creation and you're working with content. All of those stages bring up stuff. I'm certain that you could probably identify with many of the things that I shared. So what I would recommend is just going through a whole protocol that includes everything that I talked about. So let's do a recap. And I'm going to tell you how to do them in order, which is actually going to be a little bit different than the order that I'm presented them. Ready? Write this down. So you're going to start with the bergamot on Shinmin. Got it? Start with the bergamot on Shinmin. Next, if you've got a lot of noise and junk going on in your mental body, then you're going to go uplift here on the top of your head and here on yin tong. You're going to do that as your next one. If more of what's going on for you is that you feel tired and overwhelmed and shut down, then you're going to use the restore as your next blend on the belly button and on CB6, inch and a half below the belly button. So you start with restore. So you choose, is it uplift first? Do you need to clear the crap out of the way? Or do you feel tired and fatigued, depleted, and you need to center and gather yourself first? Do restore. Trust yourself. You can also smell these and just see which one you feel called to do first. So if you start with uplift, then go to restore. If you start with restore, go to uplift. Then I want you to go to flow next, and you're going to put flow down on the foot. Imagine this is my foot on the liver 3 point. For flow, I can allow. And then you're going to end with jasmine cradle here on pericardium 7, like this. And for each of those, after you hold the point aroma style, always come up and smell. If you do that entire sequence, it'll take you about 12, 15 minutes maximum, and it will rock your world in the most wonderful way. It really will. Did I get them all? Let's make sure. So we got the jasmine cradle, the restore, the flow, remember, and the uplift, yeah? And the bergamot on Shenmin. Okay, I hope you've enjoyed this. If you have, share this video with others. Share it, like, subscribe to my channel. And if you utilize the essential oils and you love them and you share them with others, you might consider becoming an affiliate for Monara Essential Oils. If you'd like to become an affiliate, you can send an email to the one that I listed below and just put in the subject line, I'd like to be an affiliate, please. So much love and appreciation to you. I see you. I'm so proud of you for everything that you have dreamt, for everything that you've had the courage to bring forth, and for being exactly who you are right now. So much love from my heart to yours, and I'll see you in the next one.